chicken tikka masala, just like you get from a local restaurant. I'm going to show you how to make it. Okay, so we're going to start with the marinade for the chicken. Now you want to make this well in advance. I'm making it now. I'm not making tea for a couple of hours. So I'm going to make the marinade, chuck it in the fridge, and then we're going to cook that off a bit later. So we'll start with 150 grams of Greek yogurt. And to that, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. And then we're going to add 1 tablespoon of garlic puree, 1 tablespoon of ginger puree, and then we're going to start adding in our spices. Now, for this bit, you need to use something called Kashmiri chili powder. Now, I couldn't find that, but I have looked up alternatives, and what you can use instead is you can use half a teaspoon of smoked paprika to give it the red colour. Okay, we'll go 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and then you can add in half a teaspoon of mild chili powder, and that will counteract what you would have used as the Kashmiri chili powder, sorry, not paste. And then to that you want to add in 1 teaspoon of garam masala, 1 teaspoon of cumin, another teaspoon of paprika, not smoked paprika, just normal paprika. And then you want half a teaspoon of turmeric. Give me a second, I forgot to bring it over. 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric, or turmeric, however you want to say it. And then half a teaspoon of salt, just normal salt. Woo! I wore half of it then, did you see that puff up at me? And then, if you think about the tikka masala that you get from an Indian takeaway, it's very, very red. Now, the way that they do this is with a few drops of red food colouring. Now, you don't need a lot, just literally a couple of drops, just to help the red colouring. And we're going to add that into the marinade to get a nice red colouring on our marinade. And then we're going to add into that our raw chicken, and we're going to let all of that marinate together for a couple of hours in the fridge. Now, you don't have to marinate it for that long. You can do it anything from half an hour to overnight. Entirely your choice. Also your choice on how red you want the colour to be. I want mine a little bit redder than that, so I'm just going to add a bit more. I want that authentic takeaway Indian curry looking. So it's getting nice and red now. There we go. And I'm just going to plop my chicken in there, give it a good mix around, and I'm going to cover it and whack it back in the fridge for later. Right, the chicken has been marinating for a good couple of hours now, and what we're going to do is we are going to pop it in the air fryer. And what we want to do is we want to cook it until the edges of that chicken is charred. You actually want those little crispy burnt bits on the edges. It helps give it that lovely flavour. So while that's doing that, we're going to start making the sauce. Right, so now we're going to make the actual sauce for the tikka masala. In here I've got about a tablespoon of oil and about a tablespoon of butter. And then to that I'm going to add in some onions. And we're just going to cook those onions until they're nice and soft. Now the onions are looking nice and translucent, we're going to add in a tablespoon of garlic puree and a tablespoon of ginger puree, and then we're just going to cook them together for about a minute. This is all nicely combined now, so it's time to add in the spices. We have got ground coriander, turmeric, paprika, mild chili, garam masala, and a bit of cumin in here. And we're just going to add that to the onions, and we're just going to let it bloom only for about 30 seconds. Just making sure that all of those spices are nicely mixed with that onion. It doesn't have to do it for long, just enough that that you can know, you can smell it. And then we're going to add to that about a tablespoon of tomato puree. Now what we're going to do with this is we're going to let that cook off until this tomato puree goes dark in colour. Okay, so I'll be back once that has got a nice dark colour. Now this colour's darkened, it's time to add in the passata. We want a whole carton of passata in here, And I'm just going to turn the temperature down a bit because we're going to let all of this simmer together for about 10 minutes. We're also going to add in just a teaspoon of sugar. This helps balance out the acidity. And we're going to add in just a little bit of salt too. Okay, it's been simmering for 10 minutes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to blend all of this now until it's nice and smooth. I highly recommend transferring this to a jug unless you want yourself, your kitchen and everything else covered in curry sauce. Anyway, so this is now blended into a nice smooth sauce. What we're going to do now is pop the heat back on, and now is the time where we're going to add in 150 ml of cream, double cream, and 500 ml of water. And we're going to give that a nice big stir. And we're going to let that just simmer. We're going to simmer it for about 5 minutes till it's all combined. Now, if you want your sauce to have that lovely red colour that you get from your local restaurant, this is where you add in your red food dye. Some restaurants have like really red sauce, and it is just red food dye. So add in your red food dye and it will magically transform into that colour that you get from those restaurants. Remember that delicious marinated chicken? Well, it's all nice and cooked. And I'm going to place that in this delicious sauce. And then we're going to leave that to simmer for about 5-10 minutes, just so that the sauce thickens and reduces down over this beautiful chicken. And here we have it, chicken tikka masala, just like you get from a local restaurant. You can have it with whatever you want it with. They're having it with rice and chips. Look at this. Remember, if I can do it, so can you. Don't forget to pop me a follow where you can find many more recipes just like this one. But here you go.